All right, we're gonna dive into a kettlebell swing here today. It goes without saying that this same movement can be done with a dumbbell. However, whenever you're doing this movement with the dumbbell, I recommend grabbing it just like so with two hands, so swinging. This is helpful if your gym or where you work out doesn't have heavy kettlebells, or if you're doing one-armed. I like kind of this neutral grip. It's where my thumb's facing up, and just simply, because if my palm's facing down, it's just gonna hit the inside of my legs, right? But if I face it like this, more room in between my hips. So that's how you can do this with a dumbbell, both single arm and double hand. So this is a little bit different than like the clean and press, where you wanna start with one arm. You actually wanna start with a kettlebell swing with a two-handed swing, which I'll show you in a second. Once you get proficient at that, you can do like 5 to 10 sets of 10 of that. You know, every minute on the minute is a good way to test that. So getting like 50 to 100 reps in 10 minutes, good form, whatever weight you need to use. Then start to play around with one-arm swings. The difference between the two of them, two-handed swings creates more power and athleticism, so you can go heavier, get more snap in the hips. Single arm swing recruits more musculature, so you're getting your chest working in more, your tricep working, your lats working more, so a little bit better for like hypertrophy. All right, I'll go ahead and show you here single or double-handed real quick. So when doing this movement, I like to start with the kettlebell pretty far behind me, like I'm about to hike a football behind me, right? And then from there, what I'm doing is I'm popping my hips all the way through and standing tall. This is not a squat, and it's also not a deadlift. It's more of a hip hinge and a deadlift than anything, but you're not squatting. You don't want to do this, where your knees are getting so low like that. You don't want that. Just let your hips go back, core tight, just like this. Only bringing it to chest height. Anything more, you just don't need it, okay? It's kind of wasted movement. You can get more repetitions, more power without it. Now, that's how you do a double-handed. You're squeezing your butt cheeks like a glute bridge, like a deadlift, barbell hip thrust, all those movements. Now, with one hand, it's the exact same movement. It's just now, you really gotta focus on that straight arm, really keeping this chest and this pec tight, your lat tight, boom. Every time, just going here. Now, when it gets to that chest, you're pulling it down. Think of like a that bodybuilder move where it's a lat pull, not an actual lat pull down, but you know what I'm talking about. It's where you're pulling down like that, turn your lat on like that, and get it working. Now, what I'll show you guys is a double kettlebell swing. Come on through if you need to. So this one, using two kettlebells instead of one. The reason why you do that, you can get more weight with it, which means more hypertrophy, more muscle, more power, more strength, and it just feels nice. It's a little bit different than doing just single hand or double hand. So check this out. Sumo stance, hips, back, rib cage in tight, core tight. Starting with this back behind us like we're hiking a football. So you can see wider legs there. That one's just a great movement to throw in for a little bit of variety. If your gym only has like lighter kettlebells, that's also a good solution to get a little bit heavier. 235s make 70 pounds there. So with all of these, you want to pop with the hips. Do not be slow. One drill that's helpful is if you have a partner with you, have them, when you get to the top, push your bell down. Every time it comes to the top, push it down. Boom. Because you want to start getting used to not just popping it up quickly, but using your lats, your back, and everything to pull it down quickly as well too. You don't want to think of the way down as relaxation time. You should be on the whole time for this movement. It's an airplane. Only time you're relaxing is when it's floating right here for a millisecond. The second it stops floating, boom, pull down. All right, work this movement. You can get a lot of really good power with this one if you're an athlete. Good strength for deadlifts, squats, and everything in between. Really, kettlebell swings do so much. So I think everybody should be doing these at some level or another. As you start to practice it, slowly build your power up. You don't need to be popping through with full force if you are just starting, but that's what you're building up to. So imagine as you do like a set of 10 of these, think 50% power on rep 1, 60 on 2, 70 on 3, and once you get to 5 reps, those last 5 are 100%. Right, giving all the power you can, making sure it comes from your hips, and your arm just stays straight and holds it. You'll see some people do kettlebell swings to where, I'll show you real quick, they're kind of called like gunslingers, to where you kind of come up like an old Midwestern, like you're about to shoot somebody. They're not wrong, but it's usually just people being lazy and their arms are starting to get tired so they don't keep it straight. It's its own exercise, and it's good like in complexes and combinations like that. But whenever you're doing kettlebell swings, try not to do this style I'm gonna show you here like all the time. It's okay if you do it for a couple reps. I do it sometimes, but it's kind of like kipping on pull-ups. It's its own exercise. It can be helpful, but you shouldn't. It doesn't replace a, standard pull-up. So I'll show you. People call these gunslingers. A little bit of some bicep work in there too, just to hold it up. So you can try those out if you want. With this, as you're doing this movement, power, power, power. Breathe with it. Exhaling as you go up. You guys will have a lot of fun. That's it.